Well, good morning, boys and girls, and it's the start of another week again. I hope you got a chance to pick up your pack of work this morning. If not, it's still available in school. Just pop in at any time, and the box is there at the front. But if you can't find your pack, just ask at reception there, and they'll be happy to help you. All right? So, it is Monday, the 8th of February 2021. Let's get started. And I'll just begin by talking you through your new pack. Okay, so you've got work for week 5, and it's the same layout, spellings and literacy and maths all together. Then we have week 6. Then we have World Around Us, which we'll look at later. And don't worry, there's actually no writing or anything involved with it. It's a cut and stick activity, but we'll talk through it later in the week. You have 2 pages of Grow in Love as well. Now that's the actual class book that I have. You just have the photocopies in your pack. Now, some of you have already completed the first activity. You completed it just a bit early, but there's no problem with that. I've copied it again just to be in this pack, just in case you've mislaid the first one. So it's there for you. Also in your pack, there's a little bit of mindful colouring as well. I was hoping to pop in this morning to put some other bits and pieces into your pack, just colouring in activities and things, but unfortunately I've been called away to a meeting this morning, so I won't be able to make it in. However, I think looking at this, you have plenty to keep you going, and when you add in your Sum Dog and your reading, I think you'll be busy enough. I'm sure you'd agree. Now, week 5 is of course your work for this week, and then the week after that, then, you don't go straight into your week 6 work, because once week 5 is over, we are on mid-term break, which means you get a week off. Hooray! So once you've finished your work on Friday now coming, then you can put your work away for a while, pack it away, and take the week off and enjoy yourself and relax and have time with your family. And then on the 22nd of February, which is the Monday then, you can start back into your work with week 6. All right, so let's look today then at week 5 and our Monday activities. And we will start, as we always do now, with our date. So of course we know today is Monday. So today's date is Monday, the 8th of February. Remember, February has that tricky spelling. 2021. So that's Monday, the 8th of February, 2021. It's a really good thing to write your date every morning to get into the habit of doing it. All right. Moving on to our spellings then, and just make sure you're on the right week. So it's week 5. There's your date. This week we are looking at the J sound, and it's made in a variety of ways. So it can be made using a J, a G, a GE, or a DGE. Okay, so let's have a look at our words. So you can repeat them after me. Jaw, jeans, June, July, page, change, large, giant, and then gentle, edge, bridge, and juggle. And we'll write those into our Monday column. Now you'll recognise this sounds in focus page from your last pack. It was the one I told you not to do. It was attached onto the page that we were working on last week, the H page with the H sound. I've copied it again just so you have a fresh one to work on, or you can use the old one if you want, but it's in your pack here for you. So you only have one page again to do this week. You'll be happy to hear. So once you get this one page done, you'll be done. So let's have a look at question 1. And it begins by asking you to circle the letters in your word list that represent the J sound. So you go through these words and you circle either the J or the G or the GE or the DGE. Whatever is making the J sound. Okay, now I just want to draw your attention to one word there, gentle. Now looking at gentle, you might think, well, there's a GE there, and I see a GE here, so I'm going to circle GE. But no, in this case, in gentle, you only circle the G. Because in this case, the E is doing a different job. It is making that N sound. Ental. J. Ental. Okay? So it's not helping to make the J sound in that particular word. Okay? Now it is here with edge. Okay? It's making a J sound here and here. But in the case of gentle, the E is doing a different job. So don't circle the E, only circle the G. Okay, I need to make that a wee bit more clear. Round like that, okay? So, moving on then to question 2. Question 2 asks you to write any other words or letters in this box where J is made in a different way. Now, in this particular list of words, I don't see any other ways of making J apart from the ways that we have already looked at, those 4 ways. So you can leave that box blank this week. There are no other words in that word list that have a J sound made in a different way. So you don't have to worry about this grapheme chart this week. Question 3 then asks you to draw 1 dot for every sound in each list word. So as I always do, I will read out each word, highlighting the sounds, and you count them, okay? And then you can draw the dots for each sound. Jaw. J, aw. Jeans. J, e, n, s. June. J, n. July. J, li. Oh, my apologies. I missed a sound there. I'm going to say July again. J, l, e. Page. P, e, j. Change. Ch, e, n, j. Large. L, r, j. Now in the word giant, every letter makes a sound. J, I, a, n, t. Gentle. J, n, t, o. Edge. E, d, j. Bridge. B, e, j. And juggle. J, g, o. Now for literacy this week, we will be going through a variety of bits and pieces. We're going to start by looking at exclamation marks and full stops. Then moving on to our weekly comprehension. Then we're going to do a little bit of letter writing. Then we're going to be looking at some homophones. And remember, homophones are words that sound the same but have a different spelling and a different meaning. Just like two, and two. And then finishing the week up with our writing, our longer piece of writing, which you have become really good at, boys and girls, and I have read some wonderful work from you. So thank you very much. So boys and girls, as you know, when we are writing sentences, we are always told, and our teachers are always nagging us to remember our capital letters and our full stops. And the full stops are very important because they tell us when a sentence ends, okay? So sometimes when you're doing a piece of writing, your teacher will hand it back to you and say, "Where is the full stop?" And you'll have to put it in. And it's just a little dot, as you know, at the end of your sentence. Sometimes, however, something can take the place of the full stop. Sometimes it could be a question mark for a question. So you use a little full stop dot, but you add a little symbol on top for the question mark. And in other occasions, the one we're going to look at today, you use an exclamation mark. So it looks like this. It goes down, boink, just like that. Okay. Now, an exclamation mark can do a few jobs. It can show that someone is shouting. So if someone said, "Get out of here now," you might see an exclamation mark written at the end of that sentence. It can also show that someone is surprised or excited or scared. Okay, so An exclamation mark helps to make your writing more exciting. So if you're writing a really exciting sentence where something shocking or scary or really funny has happened, you may want to use an exclamation mark at the end. So let's have a look at some examples, and you can tell me whether these need an exclamation mark or just a full stop. All right. The first one is get out now. So let's say that there was a fire in a house and you had to get out and someone shouted, "Get out now!" Would you use a full stop or an exclamation mark for that sentence? I think you would use an exclamation mark, wouldn't you? I think you agree. So we go, boink, and in it goes. All right. Next one. It's a nice day. What do you think? It's a nice day. Just a full stop? Yeah, I think just a full stop. I actually wrote a full stop earlier and then I had to rub it out again. I forgot what I was doing. Now, if you were shouting "it's a nice day" across the park to your best friend, you need to use an exclamation mark there to show that you're shouting. But if you're just making a statement like that, it just needs a full stop. Next one. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It would need an exclamation mark, wouldn't it? Because it shows that someone is surprised at something. If you're saying "I can't believe it," you must be surprised. Okay? So if you're sitting in P4 and Mrs. McFadden tells you that you've won £1 million, would you say, "Oh, I can't believe it"? No, I don't think so. You'd say, "I can't believe it!" Exclamation mark. Next one. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think you know. Exclamation mark. In it goes. Boink. And there it is. Next one. It's 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock. That's just a statement, isn't it? Full stop. All right. And finally, oh no, it's not finally, it's the penultimate one, second last. Here's your pencil. Here's your pencil. That's just a full stop, isn't it? Let's pop it in. Okay, and finally, that's amazing. That's amazing. Exclamation mark. I think I can hear you saying it over the computer. Exclamation mark. And down it goes. Boink. And there we have it. So depending on what you're writing, sometimes you can make your work more interesting by foregoing the full stop in place of an exclamation mark. So using an exclamation mark instead. So you're going to read through this passage of information today and decide for me whether you think it needs an exclamation mark in each of these little boxes or a question mark, okay? Now, I'm not going to read it through for you now. It's not that difficult. I think it's quite easy for you to read. The hard part is deciding which to put in, the exclamation mark or the question mark. And if you have any extra time on the back of the page, you could try to write one sentence yourself that needs an exclamation mark at the end. So it's going to be quite an exciting sentence where someone is scared or excited or shocked, something like that. Just one sentence with an exclamation mark at the end. Moving on to our maths today, boys and girls, and we are looking now at data handling. And data handling is when you try to show information in different ways. So for example, you've probably done data handling before and you just might not have realized that is what it was called. But data, you'll see data handling down here at the bottom. Data is just information. And handling just means to show information. Okay, so let's say we look over the page at this one. Okay. Actually, I think this one over here is better. It tells you how many children rode on different rides on a ghost boat. All right. And this is called a bar graph, and that's just a way of showing information. Okay, so you can see how much which is most popular and which was least popular. So instead of just writing it down in a sentence, you can show information in a graph or in a chart or on a little table. Now, this is the table we're looking at today. So we don't have a bar graph or anything yet, but as you see over the page, we will be looking at bar graphs. Today we're looking at this little table, and it tells us information all about people's favourite parks. So class 3 visited 4 parks: the safari park, the water park, the marine park, and the theme park. Goodness me, what a lucky class. And then they had to make a list of which park was their favourite. And someone took a vote from each and every child, and they had to choose which of the 4 parks were their favourite. Now, which one would your favourite be? Safari, water park, marine park with all the sea life, or the theme park? I think I'd go for the water park. A bit of fun, as long as it was a good day. So you can see here the names of the 4 parks, and you can see the votes that the children gave them, and they were only allowed to vote for one of the parks, whichever one was their favourite. And you use that information in the table to help you answer these questions. Which park was most popular and which park was least popular? So that's just a matter of looking at the number of votes and then naming which park got the most votes and which park got the least votes. Question B says, which parks had more than 7 votes? So it might be one park, it might be a few, so make a list of them. And which parks had less than 7 votes? Now, if a park got 7 votes exactly, would it have less than 7 votes? No, it wouldn't. Okay, so don't make the mistake when it says less than 7 votes. Don't make the mistake of writing one down that had 7 votes, okay? Same with the more question. Okay, if a park has 7 votes, it doesn't have more than 7 votes, and it doesn't have less than 7. It has 7 exactly. Question C asks you how many children voted for parks with animals. Okay, so look through them again, and if you're not sure, look through the picture clues and add up all the children who voted for a park with animals in it. All right? So there's 2 parks, I'll tell you that. There are 2 parks that have animals in them. So you're going to have to add up those 2 numbers. Question 2 then will have to be done a little bit differently than we usually would, because it asks you, find out which of the 4 parks children in your class would most like to visit. Well, as you know, unfortunately at the minute, we can't do a poll like that because we're all at home. However, I thought of an alternative. So on Friday, I went around school and I asked all the teachers and the classroom assistants who were in. Now, they weren't all in, but those who were in, I asked them which park would be their favourite. And I showed them the pictures of the 4 parks, and they had to vote for which park was their favourite, okay? And we're going to record those results now. So what I want you to do is to pause your video and draw out a little table just like this. So you've got a little box. You've got a title, Favourite Parks. You've got park here and votes here and a line down the middle. You've got the names of your 4 parks here. Okay. And then you leave this blank, okay? Because we're doing a new vote. We're doing a new poll now. We don't want to know what class 3's favourite parks are anymore. We want to know what Mount St. Catherine's favourite parks are. Okay. So pause your video. Copy out this little table apart from the numbers, but write votes here, and then once you're ready, press play again. All right? Okay, so I've just scribbled the table down very roughly, and I know yours will look much better than mine. And I'm going to call out everyone's favourite parks, and every time you hear that someone likes a particular park, you give it a tick. So for example, if I said that Mr. Gilday's favourite park was the Safari Park, you would give it a tick like this. And then if I said someone else's was the Safari Park, you would give it another tick like that. Okay? So I'm going to go through all the teachers, or anybody who I managed to talk to on Friday, and I'm going to tell you what their favourite park was, and you just listen for the parks and give them a tick, and we'll get our total at the end. All right? So are you ready? Let's go. Okay. Here we go. So get your ticking hand ready and tick the parks as you hear them mentioned. Mrs. Jordan's favourite park was the theme park. Mrs. Colbin's was the safari park. Mrs. McLaughlin's was the safari park. My favourite park was the water park. Mrs. McNichol's favourite park was the water park. Mrs. Brogan's favourite park was also the water park. Mr. Hughes's favourite park was the theme park. He wanted to go to the theme park. Mrs. Rafferty also wanted to go to the theme park. Mr. McGuigan also wanted to go to the theme park. Mr. Gilday wanted to go to all the parks, but I said, no, Mr. Gilday, don't be greedy, only one, you have to choose. So he chose the marine park. Miss O'Callaghan chose the water park. Mrs. Heron chose the water park. Mrs. Kelly chose the water park. Mrs. Traynor chose the theme park. Mrs. Basketfield also chose the theme park. Kim chose the theme park. Mrs. Stefanova chose the marine park. Mrs. Lappin chose the safari park. Miss Kennedy chose the theme park. And finally, Carmel in our dinner hall chose the theme park. And that is it. So now you have to write your totals at the end. So now you have your results in your table. You can move on to part C and work out which park was most popular in Mount St. Catherine's and which park was least popular. Question D then, it asks about how many children, but we know that we are talking about how many members of staff in school. So how many members of staff in school voted for either the water park or the theme park? So you have to look at those two and add up your totals, okay? I hope you had fun counting, and if you got a bit muddled, don't worry, you could just rewind back again and start again, all right? I think that's enough for today. I know Monday's videos are very long, so I hope you didn't get bored or fall asleep halfway through this. Okay, continue on with your accelerated reading as always and your sum dog, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye bye.